good? All right. Here we are. Okay. So today, I'm going to talk to you about time travel and how when you go back in time, you cannot change what's happened. It's happened. It's written in stone. All you can do is create an alternate parallel timeline where things are similar yet different. Okay? The Star Trek franchise seems to be aware of this because they have multiple timelines and multiple TV shows that have already been aired and run their time through, but this is never really explored, but it's there. Okay. So the first alternate timeline happened with the Guardian. McCoy went back in time and saved Edith Keeler. She held up U.S. entry into the Second World War. Germany won. Okay, alternate timeline, parallel, similar but different. And in that timeline, for example, John F. Kennedy and his friends started an insurrection to help the government become more open to civilian rights, be more concerned about citizens, not just numbers in the giant war machine, more concerned about individuals rather than state-determined occupations. This led to advancement in the space team. In the space team, along with this program, evolved into what we now know as the evil alternate universe in Star Trek where Spock has a beard. At the point in time where our people are sitting outside the Guardian, when McCoy creates the alternate timeline, the Guardian and those present were shifted to the second timeline. Nothing happened to the first one. They were just in the right place, but at the wrong timeline. Kirk and Spock had to do was go back through the Guardian and in this other timeline, stop McCoy from saving Edith Keeler to create a portal to get them all back to the original timeline that they were in the beginning. And that's how that show worked out with my timeline theory. But still, the Germany won the war and became the empire that Spock grows a beard. So here we are, part 3, the Zefram Cochrane paradox, I guess you guys that believe in such things call it. What happened is, in the very first original timeline, Kirk's Zefram Cochrane ignited the warp engine and disappeared, where we later learn, many years later, he had been living forever with an entity on a distant planet. Now, Kirk goes back in time to help save the whales. He creates this new timeline in which Zefram Cochrane creates warp drive, but at a much older age. And this would be this timeline that Next Generation comes from. But the Borg, they go back in time and creating yet another timeline in which the Next Generation has to help Zefram Cochrane launches warp drive. Now, if the Borg did not interfere, he would have created it anyways, because after all, Jodie saw the statue. Okay? It gets complicated. Now, the thing is, if he disappeared, even if the Vulcans detected warp drive capability, they may not have landed and greeted Zefram Cochrane because he wasn't there. So that would probably be a different timeline than the one the Next Generation has. The Jodie and the Next Generation have to be in an alternate timeline that was created after Germany lost the First World War and before the Borg shows up. Does that mean that Kirk's timeline was not hampered or held back by the Vulcans like Archer's was? Obviously, Archer's Enterprise has more sophisticated equipment than Kirk's. Was that because of the help of the Vulcans still more advanced than Kirk's Enterprise, which was several models later? Answer mixed. It's kind of tough for me to figure them all out, although I'm aware of all the situations. Still, again, there is so many different timelines, it is tough to actually compose a good map. Alright, I don't know what this is. I just saw it when I was looking for Star Trek timelines, and there might be more information for me in there, but this is what I got so far. Okay, so oh no, stop.